You've now tuned in to the Drawing Board Podcast, a powerful, thought-provoking discussion where we talk about family, relationships, ministry, community, and career. Let's see what exciting guests we have on our show today. Hi, this is Andre Ebron, the host and the founder of the Drawing Board Podcast. Tonight, we always talk about family, relationships, ministry, community, and career. And tonight I have the coach, the one and the only coach. I call him Coach Evan. You all know him as Coach Evan Napper, right?
Yes,
Coach
Napper.
Evan Napper. Yes, sir. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you for having me, sir. How have we been?
Oh, man, excellent. So it's been about a little less than a year since we've seen each other.
Right around Thanksgiving, banquet time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Coach Evan is the head coach of the East Detroit Tiger Cats. And we're going to talk about tonight the importance and the relevance of the role that a coach plays in the life of a young man, as well as we're going to break down, I got to give you some extensive history about the Detroit Tiger Cats, the East Detroit Tiger Cats, and then we'll round it out. If you have any, for all of those that are watching, all of my TC family, if you want to call in, the number is 248-579-5295. We want you to be able to interact and to get involved. But before we jump into all of that, Coach Evan, I have a question for you, sir.
Yes, sir.
So break down for me, like, I always ask people when I'm interviewing teachers, I say, why teaching? But for you, I'm going to ask, like, why coaching?
Coaching to me is, it's super important because I get to do it in a community I grew up in.
Okay.
I played Tiger Cats from 97 to 02.
Okay.
Actually, shout out to President Gus, still coaching, played flag for Coach Gus back then.
Okay.
The big thing for me is when you play this sport your whole life and you observe it and you watch it, you want to give back to kids. It's really important. I want my boys to play football when they get older.
Okay.
You see it, you love it, then you want to do it. I played ball. We never won anything.
All right.
We never won anything of significance. And to see the program grow now in 20 years, we have, personal success, professional success, and we got a lot of trophies. Right. So that's a big thing for me. To see the happiness on the kids' faces, and then I'm setting up something with our executive board and our other coaches so that my kids have a foundation and a football program to look to for support when they get older.
And what I think is very important that I think distinguishes the Tiger Cats from other activities, I'll say, is that there is a full-on program from flag all the way to varsity that teaches them the technical skills, that works with them on the social and emotional skills.
Mm-hmm.
What I loved about it, because Andre, my son, Andre the second, he played for the Tiger Cats last year. It was his first experience with contact, right?
Exactly.
And it was his first real experience of having to be worked out like that as well. And what I loved is you always spoke to his confidence to encourage him and hold him accountable. And the team concept that you all build there, from the varsity team coming down and helping to coach the JV and encourage them, to the JV, encouraging the flag, but watching the different levels of the program. And so this is just my shout out as a parent of the Tiger Cats. If you're looking for a program, and I'm talking about a full-on program that can they can start how early? At what age?
It's age 6.
At age 6.
As of August 1st.
As of August 1st. So you have to be 6 years old by August 1st.
Yep.
And if you're looking to put them in a program that will help mature them and grow them as a student athlete, you hear it? As a student athlete, the Tiger Cats are a great place. And I'll just say we have some crazy TC parents out there. We love it. Absolutely love the Tiger Cat parents and all of the coaches. What I love about it is, I'm an athlete, so I love a player coach, right? And you all are player coaches, so to see you all come back, and not just yourself, but a lot of the coaches at one time were Tiger Cats.
Yeah, I think currently on staff we have 4.
Okay.
2 this year, first-year coaches. Guys been around a long, long time. Guys I played ball with. we actually have some alumni coaches in high school.
Okay.
Our vice president, Gus Richardson, has moved on, and he's coaching at Lakeshore High School.
Okay. Congrats.
Shout out to Coach Gus.
Shout out Coach Gus. Yeah.
Shout out to Coach Brandon Jeanette and Coach Cody Roth. I played ball with Brandon for about 5 years.
Okay.
Cody Roth's father is one of our sponsorship coordinators. Cody played Tiger Cats, was a high school player at De La Salle. Now he coaches at Tower as well.
All right.
You see the league is ESFL. You see a lot of ESFL guys out there.
Yeah.
And it cultivates beyond the age of 13 when we end. You know, we have relationships with these guys all the way through high school. I mean, we go and we follow them and we have personal relationships. We go to their houses. We see their families. Shout out to Amari Embry, 160-pound Division II state champ wrestling.
Shout out. Congratulations, sir. I heard you were out there flexing, man. I heard that.
Yeah, went and saw him at Ford Field this winter.
Okay.
Won a state title. He's a kid, you know, been with me for a few years as a football player.
Right.
Not only an A-plus football player, but an A-plus human being.
Yes.
And I've got 30 or 40 of those in just my 7 years that I could speak to. So that's a big thing for me. I do have to say one thing.
No, go ahead.
I will get killed at home.
No, listen, no.
I will get killed at home.
Listen, hey, we're rounding that corner. We're rounding that corner, okay?
I got one thing I got to say.
All right, go ahead.
I don't get to do any of this without the support system and the love at home.
Yes.
My wife and my 3 boys. And our golden retriever
And the
puppy
new dog,
and the new
yes,
dog. Yeah.
right.
If it wasn't for her straddling up them kids, and she brings them to practice, she's around. If it wasn't for that, none of this would be possible. So, you know what it's like.
I
you know,
do.
taking the kids around,
Absolutely.
doctor's appointments, shots, all that stuff, groceries, dinners on the table when I come home. Shout out to Jesse. I love you, baby. Thank you. And
Right.
I appreciate all the support. That's
yeah,
number one A1
You had
right
to
there.
get that
Yep,
in.
yep.
So listen. So I was going to bring that in. Since we're there, we might as well talk about it. One of the things that I loved about the Tiger Cat coaches is that you all included your families. So like your wives were present, your children were present. The cousins were present, like, you know, like it is a family event. So out there you get a chance, like families actually get a chance to bond and to mesh and get to know one another, and literally it does become your Tiger Cat family.
100%.
You know?
100%.
And so I think that is something that is commendable, and I think that's something, you know, as the program continues to build, I think that is what makes for me and what made for me the experience so unique, because for Andre to get a chance to see within his coach, his coach's wife and his coach's children, and they are present and they are involved, and you know, and now I'm sure eventually the dog's going to make it to the field. So yeah, and then I just loved the fact that you all were family men. I think it makes a difference.
100%. Lead by example is something that comes to mind with that. All of us. So Coach Gus, our president, put 5 boys through the program over the course of 20 years, and Coach Dennis, shout out to Coach Dennis.
Coach Dennis, shout out, man.
Coach Dennis put both his boys through. His son is a coach this year again.
Okay.
He's been off and on for about 5 years. Coach Mike, his kids are in the program. Mom was a board member or his wife was a board member for quite a few years. We've been doing this now for so long. Ron Orszkowski was president for quite a long time before Coach Gus, and his wife was a board member. I believe him and his wife are both in our Hall of Fame. They set a nice foundation through the 90s and early and mid 2000s to set us up for the success we're having now. Especially with the reduction in numbers, you know, it's all changed.
That's right.
22 years ago, when I played, we had 96 kids just in the flag program.
Oh, wow.
So 6, 7, and 8-year-olds, we had 96 kids. We were not a part of the ESFL as a flag program. We had reached, a bunch of the teams had got together because a lot of big turnout back then was that age. And then, we're talking 40 kids on freshman and JV, and then another 30 on varsity back then. We're nowhere near that now. Obviously, the sport has changed. The avenues for other sports has opened up more as well. So you see a lot of those different pathways, and there's less dual sport athletes, due to wear and tear.
Right.
It's just health has advanced, so the numbers will, split up a little bit.
And I also think that people's focus on recreation or athletics has also shifted just because when we were young, that's what we did. We After we left practice, we still went and played, pick them up, mess them up, so something like that. So
before football season at our field at 10 and Hayes, there was basketball courts there for the longest time.
Right.
And in the summertime, I'd get up and I'd eat breakfast and I'd hit that court at 10 o'clock in the morning. And I'd come home and the streetlights were on. I mean, that's just what we did.
Absolutely.
Or basketball city was a big thing where I'm from. Everybody went to city with $6.
Right. So they pay the admission. Right.
One of us had to fork up $1 for a basketball, and we were good. I mean, it's less people are outside now. For various reasons, and you have the health culture too with concussions has been a big thing, and the technology in helmets now is so far ahead of what it was. I mean, with the Rydell's and the Zeniths of the world, who are setting rules on helmets, and we're sending our helmets out for conditioning more often than we ever have, and that's the thing that I like to say to parents too is it's a risk. Basketball's a risk. Soccer's a risk. Soccer has the highest ACL injury rate out there. Basketball, ankle injuries are so frequent now, and that's a symptom of athletes being better as well.
Absolutely.
The game is bigger, faster, stronger, which you from a fan perspective, you want to see competitive football at any level.
Right.
Our flag is very unique. I think there's only a couple other leagues around here that have the same type of flag program. We are 11-on-11 competitive flag, and it's a really good game to watch.
Oh no, it gets serious.
6, 7, and 8-year-olds,
really
man, they're out there banging and they're blocking, they're learning, and they're throwing passes out there. A lot of flag programs are 5-on-5 or 7-on-7, and you're just learning the skill positions. You're not learning how to block, how to get in a 3-point.
Right.
Those are the most important things. When we do conditioning next week, we have an entire drill just set in a 3-point stance, fire off, and then you run a 10-yard sprint. Just simplicity like that is what builds these kids up, so that when they get to the tackle program, they're not like a deer in headlights.
Right.
And then into that second week, then we're tackling a pad, and it's one step at a time. It's on your knees and you shotgun blast. Those are the things that, from a program perspective, that you have to do, or you'll fail. As simple as that.
Yeah. Now, another thing that I love about the program is there's a certain passion and energy that is synergized around, building these programs and, coaching, these young fellas to become great young men. And for whether it's from the parents or from the coaches or from the stands, I remember one place specifically. It was this young man. We call him Prime.
Oh yeah.
Listen, and
shout out to Prime. Yeah, shout out to Prime.
And this young man, I mean, excellent athlete, great kid off the field, always showed love and respect. Man, he lit this guy up. I mean, and here's the thing, though. It was a legal hit. There was nothing wrong with the way that he tackled or anything. And when the referee decided to make the decision to exclude him from the game, oh man, listen, the stands were in an uproar. I mean, we were fired up and we were firing off. And we were upset, but what I loved about it was, I think it was Coach Dennis, both because you had to keep the game going. You slapped him 5,
I'll take myself there. I was just talking to his mother about this the other day. He was signing up this year, and it was never harder to take a kid's helmet for the game because he was removed from the game.
Right.
And I say to the young man, I say, son, I need your helmet. You can't play the rest of the game. And his eyes got as big as they could get, and I'm almost welling them now. It's so sad.
Yeah.
And to go through the play again very quickly, it's a defenseless player call on contact, and the parents were upset. We watched the video 100 times. Within the organization, we even had some talk about it, and when that happens, when a young man gets suspended, MHSAA is you're out for that week and the following week. Biggest game of the season was the following week, and I'll tell you guys, just from a character perspective, that was the heart and soul of our football team. He walked in day one as a captain, and it was a huge blow to the football team, and I never felt worse, again, taking a kid's helmet. And but that's the thing is that's a kid that's been there 6 years. has given his heart to us. He's at every workout. He's at every single thing, and we try to, and that's leadership, and that is, even by example. And it was an effort play. He wasn't taking a shot at a kid. It was a full effort play on onside kick.
Right.
And we're trying to eliminate that so that those situations don't arise. We don't want our players to be defenseless, whether it's my guys or an opposing player, but. Those are something that the MHSAA has done very good due diligence trying to eliminate the ball bouncing in the air on purpose, things of that nature, so that people don't get hurt. And that's a big for me. I don't want to see any kid hurt and taken off and have to go to the doctor or the hospital, which happens all the time. You guys see, everybody watches the NFL or the NBA, and I mean, we all saw, Gordon Hayward freak accident injury, incidental contact on that. You see it all the time. So, but the thing is the family aspect of it. I had to grab him and I had to give him a hug, and and he cried, and kids do that. That's what kids do when they're upset, and it's just the way the game went. But he's back. He's back. He's got one more year left this year. This will be his last year. His brother was with us too for 7 years as well.
Right. He played QB, didn't he?
He was one of our backs.
Okay.
We had a good rotation of backs last year. I think we had 4 or 5 guys that were super solid in the rotation.
Okay.
And he was the leader of the football team.
Right.
He started corner for us, shut down one side of the field. Had a great championship game, even though we lost. I'm happy he's back. He's doing very well. Good grades, all that stuff's good. So I talked to the mom quite a bit. She's an absolute doll. So
right, yeah. So I mean, I just thought it was excellent the way I saw you interact, and I saw Coach Dennis interact with him, and it was a full effort play. Of course, one of the things that I know you all don't take any stuff from is you don't go out with any type of intentionality to hurt and harm another player.
Absolutely.
And that is one thing I know you all don't play. And so when he gave a full effort, and however it went down, the way it went down, it was the whole team was impacted because he was a leader. And and that's one of the things that that I'm sharing with those that are viewing is that if you are looking for your young man to find a place where those leadership, because he has, and I'm speaking about him specifically, but I'm talking about all of the young men in general, is there are some innate qualities that will not get developed or exposed unless you put your children in the opportunity or an environment. And so that the camaraderie, the leadership, the coaching, the ability to inspire and motivate. Because I know little Dre, he got fired up, I mean, and when Prime hit the field, the whole team was ready to move.
Oh, yeah.
Because I believe through, with his mom, of course, and then, with the Tiger Cats, like he had the opportunity to express those qualities.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think for me the most important thing that we're not giving our young people is adversity.
That's good.
I think that's
expound on that.
So I think that we love our kids so much, and we don't want them to get hurt, and we don't want their feelings to be hurt. I think growing up, especially before the age of 25, it's a scientific thing that your frontal cortex doesn't fully develop until you're 25, and that's where you make decisions.
Right.
I think putting some adversity through a child, and whether it's the game 7-6 and you're marching in the end zone, and you need it, and I need every ounce of what you got for the next however many minutes.
Right.
That's adversity all on its own. And we have a saying, it's we all we got, we all we need. And that's, you look over to the guy next to you, he's going through the same stuff you're going through. And it's reaching down deep when it's muddy and it's wet and it's tough. I've been there. I've been in those trenches. So I mean, it's really, really important that they, and losing is important too. That adversity, we learn more from losses than we do from victory. And it's in every aspect of life. We learn from mistakes. It's one thing to go through life, hey, we're all good, but then the first time you face some adversity, you don't know how to handle it. I think youth sports in general is a very good way to, competitive youth sports is a good way to instill that toughness into a young person. I know toughness it's not everybody has it, but I think it's something that's teachable to go through that. And the teamwork's another thing. Pick up the guy next to you. We don't have enough of that in life. We don't have enough community. Right. You see this. You're in the church.
Right.
Way before it was the church picked everybody up. It's that same type of concept.
Right.
One of your guys is down. You pick them up. And, football is that escape, too, because we all have problems.
Right.
None of us are perfect. None of our kids are perfect, and this is the outlet. And, the big thing for me is putting them through the test. And we do it every day. There's conditioning. We run sprints.
Absolutely.
We run sprints to prepare them for that. We drill. We do 6-man. We go through the offense. We repeatedly, we hammer. Hey, 6-hole, 2-hole. It's that stuff.
That's right.
It puts in the repetition, the discipline. It does all that for these young men. And I have a thing every year. I come in when we get out of conditioning and we break up into our teams. I say my job is. And last year we had 22 young men. I said, the day you get here, my job is for the next 4 to 5 months make you better young men by the time you leave here in early November.
Absolutely.
So that's the number one goal. I don't care about trophies. If that doesn't happen, I would never sacrifice that to win.
To gain the trophy,
Because and here's another thing: we got to think it's youth football,
right?
It's youth football. We do have to keep the fun aspect. We
Yes.
have to keep the fun aspect,
right?
And just from experience, losing isn't fun,
right?
So we build this up, we build this culture, and usually it turns into success. When you stop trying to be competitive from a football aspect and just work on your kids and you work on your team. That stuff comes without hesitation. I'll say that forever.
Right, and I think that is phenomenal. And I witnessed it and got a chance to participate in it and got a chance to see one of the things that I looked forward to, and I did because I love to see my son needed to run. He did. He needed to run. And and all of those are transferable principles that you were talking about. So when you're talking about mental toughness, you're talking about grit, the ability to not quit when things get tough, the ability to put yourself in a position that even when you feel like giving up, making sure that you stay at 100 because your teammate is depending on you, no matter if you're entrenched in muscle. I got all of that imagery, right, that you gave, right, and the reality that life those things will happen. But what I loved is that for me, what I think is lacking in a lot of people in general is the ability to endure, right? And so but the thing about it is when you choose to endure, your capacity increases for what it is you're able to handle. So when you start off with conditioning or hell week, and everybody's going through, right? But then when they, at the end of each practice, when they're running the sprints, right? Mm-hmm. And, they're pushing their, that next man or to finish at a certain time. And they may have to run extra sprints depending on, but by the time you get a quarter into the season or midway in, that kid who was last is now pushing forward, and
exactly.
his conditioning has come up. And so most people, I believe, had challenges in life because they haven't put themselves through that level of conditioning.
Exactly.
And so, I just wanted to piggyback on that point because I think that that's huge. Even when at the end of practice they've exhausted effort, they've done all these things, the sprint lets them know there's still more in you.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so, being an athlete, I think that's super cool. And being a coach, I'll bring up this statistic. Across Metro Detroit, they say 85% of the homes are single female dominated homes. So when you're talking about coaches, I know for me in my personal life that coaches played a huge role because I got a chance to see proper male example or men who didn't pretend to be perfect, but men who were willing to be present, right? So, the whole concept of presence over perfection, right?
Yes.
And they were real, I still have stories about my coaches now.
Yeah.
But they were pivotal moments when the coach, even though maintaining so many degrees of respect, challenged you to dig deep, to not give up, and to play your best. So I was a basketball player, right? Basketball and track. And I tell the story where we go into the locker room and we were a team for whatever reason. We played to our competition. I have no idea why we did this.
You told me this too. You told me this before. I remember this, yeah.
So the coach, he chose to use some interesting words to encourage
I may have been accused of doing that a couple times in my younger days. So.
Yeah, so, I mean, but the thing about it is that in that day, it still was so motivational. It was never condemning. It was never to make us feel bad. It was to fire us up. Now, what do you guys say? I can't think of what we say when, we go into the huddle before we come out. What is it?
Oh, well, here's what we do. Coach Dennis says a prayer.
Okay. Oh, no, that's good.
Coach Dennis says a prayer. Usually the kids come up with a chant.
Right.
They always come up with a chant. Each squad's got a different one. I can't even remember it. It's been so long.
Okay.
But usually, Coach Dennis says a prayer for not just us, for the other team.
Okay.
Shout out to Coach Dennis.
Yes, sir.
But it usually, right before it's we all we got, and that's all we need. And we go with that. But the positive male role model thing, and you're right. Yeah, there's a lot of homes out there where it's tough for moms out here when they're raising, especially young boys,
right?
Because they go through not only mental changes and growth, they go through some very, very difficult physical changes.
They do, and
that's the same problem with our single dads out there too. Yeah. So in my team, I have 11 and 12-year-olds. That's that time.
Right.
There's been years where, I've had kids in my car every day. Pick them up on my way home from work, take them to practice.
Right. And then drop them off.
And you really learn a lot about a kid because, if the first week or so the ice is broken, you guys are good. You feed them. Hey, you need cleats. You do things like that from a community perspective, because it's nothing that I wouldn't expect from one of my other coaches to do for one of my players. And positive enforcement is one thing for me. The biggest thing for me is effort.
Right.
I will always reward effort, because effort eventually is going to translate to results, whether it be in the classroom, it be on the football field, or it be in the home.
Right.
And that's all of us should do that. Effort always has to be there. We can't get complacent in anything. C's are not acceptable. I would hope not in anybody's home.
Let's say that again. C's are not acceptable.
C is average.
Right.
And I tell my lovely woman at home all the time, I go, if we strive for perfection and we fail, we're still better than everybody else.
Right.
And that's an important thing to go on. I learned that from a mentor of mine a long time ago. And I say that to my kids all the time. Strive, and you're never going to be perfect. But if you need to try, and if you fail, I'm still going to applaud the effort.
That's right.
Because you get some hot dogging out there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And listen, the effort, you can tell, exhaust everything that you have. And if you still come up short, you're still further than where you started.
100%.
And I think that's what has to happen. So when we're in school and we're talking about grit, or we're talking about the ability for people to go beyond what they currently know, to challenge themselves, to learn something new, that becomes, for a lot of people, even in adulthood, when they are encountered with something that they're unfamiliar with, they have a choice to make. Either they're going to push and plow through, or they're going to either just recess and fall back, right? So a lot of people, I've seen it, because it's intimidating sometimes to admit you don't know, or it's intimidating to push past your current limit. But I think that what you all are really good about doing in various ways is helping young men push past those fear. So I remember day one when Dre is getting ready to get the contact, right? Yeah. And so, when he prepares himself for the contact, or he's getting ready to hit the pad, and, Coach Jermaine is like, come on, Ebron, let's go.
I could just see his voice say,
right,
because it was a lot. Come
right.
on, Ebron.
Yeah, it was a whole lot. And then when he finally, he lost that fear, and sometimes you lose the fear to act because of somebody else's confidence in you.
Exactly.
Before you build that confidence within yourself. And I do want to, and I know it sounds like, yes, I am a little, yes, I got my TC shirt, so yes, I am a little biased, but what I'm sharing with you is the wholehearted truth about what I witnessed with my own eyes and what my family witnessed and experienced with Dre. So by the end of it, and I did, as a dad, I told him, I said, hey, man, when you get on that line, either one or two things is going to happen. Either A, you're going to put him on his butt, or B, he's going to put you on your butt.
And there's only one thing to do either way.
Yeah.
Go back to the huddle and get ready to do
And
it
get ready
again.
to
Get
do
ready
it
to do
again.
because you're
right.
not getting no slack.
That's
I
right.
mean, I have to treat you like everybody else, right?
That's right.
And that's not singling out your son. It's just any kid. You know? It's important. And a first year football player, case in point, your son is you build them up. It's a blank canvas, and you can get him to a point, and you could see progression from day one to the end.
Right.
And you know that's in the case, better man than he came in as, and that's why we have such a good turnover on returners. I mean, we started in flag. I mean, last year we had 25 flag boys, and very successful from a winning percentage, and they made it to the semis in the playoffs. They lost to an undefeated football team. And they're ready to go. I mean, our numbers are actually pretty solid compared to last year, and I'm real confident in the season. Again, at all 4 levels, we want to make the playoffs. I mean, we have that goal every year, but I mean, this year is a real logistic shot. I think our freshman numbers are the flushest they've been in the last couple of years too. So, right there, that 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we're right there where we need to be.
Well, I think that's excellent. So, the season is coming up.
Monday.
Yeah,
Monday.
Monday. So, if somebody's out there and prospectively wants to join, like, how do they get in touch with you? How do they get their son involved?
So, if you go to eastdetroittigercats.org, you can look up information there. We have a Facebook page, East Detroit Tiger Cats. Shoot them a post or a message, and they'll get back to you. I do not have the organization's phone number off the top of my head, but you can pull that up. That's on the website as well. Our building is open all this week. We're actually doing meet up and eat up.
Okay.
From 4 to 5:30 every day. Or I'm sorry, 4:30 to 5:30 if I'm correct. Where if anybody wants a meal, the state comes out and gives us some support, and we've had quite a good turnout. A lot of people have been out there for that. Hold on, let me pull up the website.
Okay.
And
so while you pull that up, I think I have. Let me see. So the phone number is 586-774-1760.
yeah, and if we're not open, we open at 5 o'clock usually every day. Somebody will return your call same day. We have a very affordable registration package. We have payment plans available. Yep, had to bring Dad his packet.
Right,
Young Andre's out of town, so
Right,
Dad's got some paperwork to do by Monday.
Yes, had to get it in. All right.
The thing I would say, if you do bring your kid to register, the biggest thing for us is what we need initially is a physical and a birth certificate copy, and that kicks off our paperwork process. Again, we work with everybody. Again, family, we understand. We have mortgages and we have car payments and we have bills, so we understand the strain that can be on single mom families and single parent homes. We get it. So we offer we use the Cash App. We can do ACH debit transactions. We're out there. We want the turnout. We want parents to be involved. None of this happens. Our executive board and our board members, our head coaches, you'll see us on Saturdays setting that field up 8 o'clock sharp. We're there, getting the concession stand going, getting the press box going. It's such and now it's a routine for us.
Right.
And it's nice when families come along and they want to be involved. We've had some over the last few years that we usually have 3 or 4 people volunteer for the board, and they can sit in and they can see how the operations work. Usually, I think we wait till the second year, and then you can participate as a board member. But again, it's such a family oriented thing, and there's a lot of work that goes into this. And if it wasn't for, again, I talk about support system at home, support from our executive board is key. Those decisions affect all of us, so they're very open and fluid with everybody. And again, hit us up.
Right, absolutely. And listen, and one of the things, because you all know I'm an educator, excuse me, and we know that when parents are involved, the likelihood of a child being successful, whether it's academically or athletically, goes up exponentially. So I've worked security a day or two, at the field.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
we alternate, and you put on your sweats and everything else, and you become a football parent. And I think that it's an excellent way because all of the parents are on the field, not on the field, excuse me, but get a chance to participate. And when Dre gets a chance to see me from the sideline or see his mother from the sideline working security, like we are invested, so
Exactly.
all of the stakeholders have an opportunity to give back. And I think that when it comes to the registration and all that, I hope you heard what Coach Evan was saying. It's doable, no matter like whatever it is, whatever your budget coming in. If you need to set it up to be, deducted monthly or deducted biweekly or whatever, listen, I can attest to you that they will work with you. So if you want to get your young person involved, it's literally a decision away. There is nothing else to do but for you to decide to get them there. So I think that's great. And one of the things I'll tell you, and I'll end with this, anytime you can win over my wife, Salisa Ibra, when she was so concerned about her baby playing contact football, okay? She still calls him her baby to this day.
I've got one of those at home,
right.
too.
And I keep telling her, I said, listen, the boy is he is no longer a baby. She goes, he's my baby. I said, well, stop calling that boy baby. He's, but either way, when she felt comfortable and she was fired up and when he was getting ready for, get ready for the games on the weekend or getting ready for practice, and I hear her, giving him a, come on, Andre, yeah. So when I hear her, now being that motivating force, like it lets me know she full and wholeheartedly believed and does believe in the East Detroit Tiger Cats program. And so when I told her that you were going to be on the show today, she's like, "Oh yeah, that's cool." She's like, "Matter of fact, I think I missed this call the other day." So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, but either way, shout out to you all. Shout out to your executive board, to all of my TC parents. You know how we turn it up every single Saturday that we are there, and you know how we support. I'm looking forward to. I think it's Sean, right? Is it Sean?
Who's that?
Oh, his granddad with the.
Unfortunately, they're in another program.
Oh, are they? Okay.
But we've got. I think right now, we got a pretty good football team coming up. Both all four levels. All of our numbers are up.
Okay.
I think we're going into the season compared to last year. Parent involvement. I love when we did conditioning last month. I love seeing full parking lot full of cars.
Yep.
We got parents on the fence line. And that's real telling of where you're at. People are excited, and that's the biggest thing for me. You want to have the results translate so the parents are happy. That's the big thing.
That's it. So you all know, like I always say, your future is not behind you. It is not before you. It is within you. Now let's give them the contact information again, Coach.
One more time.
So the phone number is 586-774. 1760, and the office opens up at 5 p.m. each day?
Yes. If you're interested in a free meal, we have Meet Up and Eat Up 4:30 to 5:30 each day, or 4 to 5.
Okay.
Then we also have registration is open during practice as well. We have, like I said, payment plan options. Our website is eastdetroittigercats.org. You can find more contact information there. And then I also, we spent a lot of time on football.
Okay.
We need to talk about, we also have a cheerleading program.
Oh, yes, cheerleaders.
And my greatest apologies, ladies out there. I apologize. We also have ages 6 to 13 sideline cheer with a yearly competition.
Okay.
That competition is held on a Saturday each year. A very nice event that our league puts on. We have, again, same thing. We'll work with anybody. We have really, really nice, cool-looking uniforms. We got cool colors. You see it on my head right now.
Absolutely.
Again, the
sweet orange and black.
For our cheerleaders, too, our cheer coordinator, she hosts a homecoming pep rally every year.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys were at the pep rally last year. It's been a big hit. Each year. It showcases some of the stuff that we're going to use for our cheer competition, and it gets us ready for homecoming. So we'll shut down practice early the Friday before homecoming. We go through our pep rally. We do our homecoming king and queen for each squad.
Okay.
And I mean, it's a real good time. We have a lovely, lovely, lovely cheer coordinator. One of the best additions we've had to the program probably in the last decade. Her name is Clarice. Leave a message for her and her and the girls at the office. They will definitely get in touch with you. That's something that we really want to beef up as our cheer program. And again, my apologies. We got locked into football and we didn't talk about our ladies over there. So
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, they led us in so many cheers and they were
yeah.
I mean, they
get you stomping in the
they get us
stands,
stomping and making noise and us supporting. And I know that they did well in the competition last year.
I don't know the results off the top of my head. I believe we placed in 2 of the competitions. So again, cheer turnout has been improving. It's something that we take value in. Like I said, our cheer coordinator, we have the best cheer lady in the world. She's amazing. So she's actually helping run the Meet Up and Eat Up as well.
Oh wow, okay.
So she's helping run that. I feel so bad for not mentioning earlier, but she, like I said, absolute one of the greatest people I know, and she's doing really good things for our program.
Okay, so on behalf of all of the TC parents and on behalf of the East Detroit, East Point, Detroit, Metro Detroit surrounding areas, we'd like to say thank you to the East Detroit Tiger Cats for finding a place and providing an opportunity where young men and young ladies can grow, develop, and become who they're destined to be through and learn those qualities through athletics and cheer. I think that it's a great opportunity. So, again, Coach Evan, I appreciate you, sir. TC, we're going to go ahead and take it again this year. And I would like to say before I go, for all of my people in Fort Wayne, Indiana, I will be in Fort Wayne this Sunday, July 21st, with Bloom Project's King Feast. It's a great program where it culminates a lot of the activities for the year. I have the blessing of being the keynote speaker again this year. And simply the theme for this year is We've Got Your Back. I put a video out there. It says, who would your son, your brother, your cousin, your nephew, your student athlete, any young man in your community, who will they become if they are provided the right support? And that is what we're going to be talking about on Sunday. So make sure that if you're in the Fort Wayne or surrounding areas, or if you're from the D and you want to drive down so you can see what's going on, I invite you to register. The link is in all of my social media in my bios. You can go on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. All of those are there, and let's make sure we fill that place to capacity. Our Netta Scruggs is leading it, my friend from way back. So love you, Netta, and I look forward to seeing you all this coming Sunday. God bless. That's okay.
Yeah, I got everything. That was awesome.
Yeah, I look forward to having you guys back at the end of the season.
We'll bring some kids for homecoming.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool, too.